In this video, we're going to look at how to compute determinants using GeoGebra. I have my browser up, so I'm going to type in geogebra.org, right? So GeoGebra, there it is. It's already in there. I'm just going to hit enter. This is what it would look like if this is the first time you're going to use anything associated with the GeoGebra. You just need to go to the calculators menu, you click on it, and it gives you this drop down. We're just going to focus on the calculator suite. If you need others, you can actually get to all of them from the suite. Let's take a look at what the interface looks like. So on the left, on the far left, you have some tools, which we're not going to use at all. In the middle here, you have your input pane where you define the stuff that you're going to work with. There's a graphing, like an XY plane right here. We're not going to do any graphing. And then here you have some keyboard shortcut functions built in, numbers, functions, and so forth. So there's a lot going on here. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible just by using a few keys on my calculator. And I'm just going to show you one specific function that you can type in, and then that'll be it. So the first thing that we will need if we're going to compute determinants is a matrix. I'm just going to show you one way that you can define a matrix in GeoGebra. You can define matrices using braces, curly braces, sometimes students would call them. And I'm just going to do shift left brace. Oh, first I have to make sure I click in the input bar. So shift left brace, and notice it automatically gives you a pair. So obviously there's nothing there. Now the reason why we're using braces is it uses the outermost brace to define the matrix, and then we're going to need additional pairs of matrices to define, additional pairs of braces to define the different rows. So let's say row 1 has the entries 1 and 2. So I'm going to put another pair of braces inside this one and then just type 1 comma 2, and there it is. All right, so right now that would be a 1 by 2 matrix, 1 row, 2 columns. But we need a square matrix, so I need to add another row. So I'm going to arrow right, gets out of the inner pair of braces, put a comma, and then put another pair of braces, and then let's just do 3 comma 4, and then so that's now my 2 by 2 matrix. It doesn't really look like how we would write the matrix by hand, but if I hit enter, then it actually formats it nicely. So it just happens to use big parentheses here, but that's fine. Notice it automatically gives it a name. So let's go up there and see if we were to change the name, and notice once you do that, it actually gives you the ability to go back in and change the number. So let's first change the name. I'm just going to make it A, right? You know, we usually use uppercase A, B, C for matrices. Then let's say I wanted to change a few of these entries. Maybe the first entry should be a -8. So I'm just going to delete that. I do type in -8. Here, if you want to go from one entry to the next, you can hit what I just hit was the right arrow key, and so it would go row by row. So here, let's say this one is 2. If I click the next, if I click the right arrow key again, it goes to the entry in row 2, column 1. Let's say we want to change that. So I'm going to backspace. Let's make that a 7. And then let's make that 4, -90 or something like that. So that's our matrix. And then if I hit enter, then yeah, it just defines it again, right? So that's how we would do the definition of a matrix. Now, to find the determinant, there is a function built into GeoGebra called determinant. That's it, right? You know, so if you start typing, all the commands, they usually start with an uppercase letter, so D-E-T, and then all of a sudden, it gives you a whole list of potential commands that have that DET, and obviously we want the determinant. If you hover over it, you notice it actually shows you the format. Here it kind of gives you, like, if you want to know what a determinant is, it's going to give you some definition, and then right below is really the only way that you can actually implement this function in determinant. So if you in GeoGebra, so if you click on determinant matrix here, and it puts it kind of as a template in the input pane, and then you can type the name of our matrix, which would be A, and there you go. And again, without even doing hitting enter, it tells me that the determinant of A is 706. So that now I'm going to hit enter, and there you go. And then it saves that number should you need it, right? Let's do another quick example. Let's do matrix B. So I'm going to start with B equals, and remember we're going to need lots of braces here. So I'm going to do a 3 by 3 example. So matrix, and here's the first row. So let's say it's 2, 7, -1. And then I arrow right, come out of it, put a comma, start a new row. So I need another pair. And then let's say it's 0, 4, 4. I need another pair of braces for the final row, row 3. So comma, another pair of braces. And notice it's kind of automatically scrolling for me. And then let's just do 1, 1, 10, something like that. And then if I hit enter, there it is. We can see the 3 by 3. And if I need to, oh, I didn't mean to make this a 4. Let me go up here and let's make it a 14. So I can go back and edit each of the individual entries, and then hit enter, and then it's saved, and then just do the same thing. If you wanted to define the determinant using a letter of your choice, you could maybe use little d for determinant, and then is equal to, and then start typing determinant. If you don't want to use the shortcut, you don't have to. You could just type out the entire command, and then in parentheses, and then put the letter of the matrix, the name of the matrix whose determinant you're trying to find, and then there it is. So this matrix has a determinant of 314. There's some ways that you can export things from GeoGebra, but to export what's in the pane here is not quite as easy as if we had graphs and pictures to export. So again, if you wanted to save this, if you wanted a picture of this, I would just take a screenshot. And most of your devices make it very easy for you to just kind of crop that little area, and then you can export it as like a JPEG or a PNG. But there you go. That's how you would use GeoGebra to compute determinants of matrices. Doesn't matter how big your matrix is, this will work, and in an instant, you'll get your value. Hopefully you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next video.